Let's start with the beginning prayers. So if you want to do it, you can do it. I'm muting all of you. Oh, Vakrutunda Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprava, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakareshu Sarvada, Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kansi Charur Mardinam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, Samasta Jana Kalyane, Niritam Karunamayam, Namami Chinmayam Devam, Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sehna Bhavatu, Sehna Bhunaktu, Sehvidyam Karvavahe, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Mavid Vishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So last week we came to our presentation, this slide, where it stopped at saying, as the mind, so the world. What does it mean? What it means is that we experience the world outside, and however we find the word, if we find the word depressing or happy or indifferent, it is not because the word is so. It is because my mind is so. What I'm going to do is, we'll go through a few more slides and then we'll come back to how people have been experiencing and practicing. So we'll go through this slide. So it says the object remaining the same from person to person, the experiences are different. Since each experiencer is not merely the physical body, but also the mind and the intellect. The very same object that ordinarily gives us joy under circumstances of fear and sorrow yield us pain instead. Thus we find that the word has the capacity to make us smile in joy or weep in sorrow merely by reaching us through the mind. So you need to understand that when it says reaching us through the mind, because the center of all the senses is in the mind. Without the mind, you cannot perceive anything. You need to understand this. Whatever it is the composition of how body and the mind and the sense organs are working together. Even if you may see something, but if your mind is not reaching to it, you would not be able to perceive it. You may see it. You can see there is a, let's say, for example, there is a cow. Your eyes can see a cow, but you can't perceive it. Why? Because there is no mind. When there is no mind, you can't perceive it. So whenever we apprehend anything, or whenever we see anything, we are able to see it because my mind is also gone onto the object that my eyes are looking at. Okay, so that's what it is trying to say in the last line, that we find that the word has the capacity to make us smile in joy or weep in sorrow merely by reaching us through the mind. So proclamation here is, as the mind, so the word. So knowing that our mind literally determines the nature of our lives, many questions may plague us. How do I prepare for action in the world? How can I get my mind to follow my biddings? And how can I improve the daily contact in my life? Okay, so these are some of the questions. So all of us would like to improve ourselves. We know that At times, we lose our temper, even with dear ones such as brothers and sisters, parents, or spouses. Perhaps no one at home takes us seriously and we begin to despair. And you have these kind of thoughts in your mind that no one understands me. I am unhappy. 100 things are going wrong. My life is a total mess. I feel so miserable. What's wrong with me? Okay. When we feel such depth of miserable emotion, we are experiencing negative qualities of the mind. Okay, I think we have talked about it so many times. And I often say to people that emotions and feelings that you can, that we experience, they determine the quality of my experience. So if my emotions are negative, then whatever I'm looking at appears negative to me, or it gives me negative emotions. So my emotions are telling me, if my emotions are negative or painful or hurtful, then it must necessarily be the reason that my texture of my thought is negative. That is a fundamental formula. Every time you are experiencing any negative emotion at your mental level, it is indicating without any doubt that your texture of your thought is negative. Because you cannot have opposing relationship between thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and emotions have to be of the same texture. If your thoughts are positive, your emotions will be positive. And if your thoughts are not positive, your emotions cannot be positive. So that's what it is. When we start expressing negative emotions, others feel repelled. That's quite noticeable. You will find that whenever we are expressing or manifesting our negative emotions, whatever that may be, it may be anger, jealousy, or whatever, fear or anxiety, these are all negative emotions. These emotions, negative emotions, have this quality of repelling people or pushing people away from us. And when you are displaying these kind of emotions, nobody would want to come close to you, right? And then you wonder what is happening to you. It is happening to you purely because of your negative emotion. You are radiating those negative emotions, and you don't even know it. And then you wonder what is happening to you. So if we can learn to bring into expression the fragrance of the positive quality of mind, then other people will rush towards you, charmed by our beauty and grace. Okay? So negative emotion have a tendency to push people away from us, and positive thought have a tendency to pull people towards us, right? And these are some of those things that you can, start to notice in your day-to-day life and day-to-day experiences. And sometimes you can deliberately do it. For example, if you can take, intentional or deliberate attempt at being nice to people, respectful to people, appreciating them, appreciating the little bit effort that they have put in, whatever that may be, if you're just being praiseful. So you will find that people will be, dragged or pulled towards you. But at the same time, if you start being critical or finding faults at or not appreciative of what other people have done or getting angry at them, being flippant, then you will find that people will not want to come close to you. And you can start noticing these things. And if you start noticing these things, then you can start to manipulate your environment. And you can manipulate your environment by, radiating or manifesting positive emotions and positive thoughts through your actions. Like for example, in India, we have all these people who come and work in our household. Somebody is coming to clean the dishes, somebody's there to clean the clothes, washing the clothes, and doing all sorts of things. And if you're being nice with them, you'll find that these people become quite efficient and they do work efficiently. And if you're being critical and pointing faults at them and being, shouting at them, scolding them, and doing those sort of things, then you will find that their sickness record increases. Every now and then, they will phone you and say, "I'm sorry, I'm not coming today." You know why? Because they don't like the environment that you provide them, and that is the reason. So the positive attracts positive is the principle. If you have positive thoughts, you will attract positive people towards you. So this has been found true all over the world, whether in South Africa, New York, or India. In whatever society of whatever caste, creed, or color people are magnetically pulled by certain qualities. And these qualities that attracts other are positive qualities. And when we deal with others, if we open up the sweetness of our personality, more people circle around us, love us, and are ready to support our creative program. And that's why you see that's what happens. Okay? So these are quite simple, straightforward things. I don't want to dwell upon them. All I just want you to do is just make note of it. Make a note of it, and then in your day-to-day life, you can start experimenting with it. And then you see what is the result and what is the outcome. And even it's not just all the time, that you're being critical of others. A lot of the time, we just keep displaying our miseries of life, how my life is so painful, how my life is so pathetic. And you have a whole lot of these sob stories to share with people whenever they come to you. They will come and, they will listen to your story for a time or two, and then they will start avoiding you because nobody likes negativity. So such qualities that lie dormant in all of us. So what it is saying here is all the positive qualities that you see in other people, they are in us as well, but they are lying dormant. But they are often not invoked. It is not sufficient that we merely know of these things. Every one of us know about love, mercy, kindness, joy, and courage of conviction. We know that all of these noble virtues, we recognize them as the qualities we admire in others, but when we act, we compromise our ideals. Okay? So we know, we appreciate it. So often when we meet with people, and whenever we observe some of these qualities or all of these qualities in them, we are very appreciative of them. I say, oh, that guy was very nice, very good, very appreciative, how politely he was talking to me, blah, 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 blah. So we do that all the time. So we know what is good and what is pleasant in others. But when we interact with the society, we fail ourselves and we don't invoke this positive quality in ourselves. Though we have the positive qualities in us. No one in this world is devoid of positive qualities. But often we are so conditioned that most of the time we are manifesting negative qualities to the outside world, right? So we have wonderful ideas, but the instrument called the mind is not available to us for the execution of these ideas. Therefore, the sages declared that unless we can learn to master the mind, okay, this is the key skill. Unless we learn to master the mind, unless we gain control over the instrument of expression, we cannot translate our ideas into appropriate actions. Failure in the world is never due to the lack of ideas. Most of us are bestowed with wonderful ideas, but when we try to put them to work, we express them in the society. Somehow or the other, they go wrong and we end up failing. The mind is the instrument that translates into actions the ideas and convictions of the intellect. So all these good and positive qualities are the qualities of the intellect, which is buddhi. And mind is in contact with the buddhi. Right? The mind, which is manas is in contact with the buddhi. So sometimes when we act, and if we are not involving my buddhi into my actions, which means I'm not being mindful, so if I'm not borrowing those good positive qualities from my intellect, I may often fail in executing what I'm trying to execute. In our homes, we have learned from our parents and books. In schools, we have learned from our teachers and more books. From these, we have got bulk of our intellectual ideas. We understand them, analyze them in our head. However, whatever mass of knowledge we may have acquired, we can still be utter failure in life unless we can learn to make manifest that knowledge in our life. Okay. In order to send this knowledge out to the world, we must direct it through our mind. Therefore, mind control, mental development is of utmost importance. So this is something to be underlined. Learning to control my mind and developing my mind is the utmost skill that we must learn. So a student who develops a certain amount of mental control is the one who will meet with the greatest success in life. This idea developed through these ages by our sages and the great rishis of Vedanta is called yoga. So when we hear this word yoga, we immediately think that yoga probably means sitting in a posture and holding my nostrils and blowing my breath in and out. That is yoga asana. Is a posture for the yoga. It's not yoga by itself. That's a posture. It's an asana means posture. Yoga asana is the posturing for meditating. Yes, but yoga is, that's what it says here. So this idea of, how do you control your mind? So controlling of the mind or training of the mind is called yoga. So disciplining the mind is yoga. Not that which is popularly called yoga, that is sitting with folded legs and nose held in between two fingers. How is the mind to be disciplined? In order to discipline the mind, we must first understand what mind is. Okay? So I will stop here for 5 minutes to see if you guys have any question or queries or anything you want to ask me before I proceed further. So everybody understood very clearly and nothing is bothering anybody. Is that true? So there doesn't have to be a question. If there is no question, we'll move forward. So we have seen how we engage with our mind with the outside world and what kind of experiences do we have. So we end up believing in our life that whatever I'm experiencing, it has something to do with things, people, and situation around me. And we often blame people around me and say to myself that he is making me angry. The reason I say, because I don't know how it works. So because I cannot find the cause of my experience within myself, then obviously the obvious thing is that how can I cause pain to myself? It must be somebody other than myself who is causing pain to me. We are constantly looking outside and other people or other things or situations in life to blame. Like we were talking last Friday, I was remembering that we were discussing that we always have these conditions that we have created for ourselves. Unless this person changes, unless this situation changes, unless this happens or that happens, I'm not going to be happy. That you can wait for the entire life. You will never be happy. Why? Because the locus of happiness is placed outside. So long as the locus of happiness is outside of you, you will never be happy unless the external environment is conducive to your demands. Unfortunately, we don't control the external environment. So unless this person fulfills your requirement, you will not be happy. So now you can wait till cow comes home. Why would this person be changing himself for you to be happy? They may do it for a time or two, but they can't keep doing it all the time. And then you keep complaining. You never do this for me. But why would he do anything for you or anybody do anything for you? Even if they're son, daughter, or husband or wife. But they have their own life. And you're expecting them, you should kiss me before you go to work. He said, I'm getting late. I haven't got time for this rubbish. I did it for 3 years of our married life. I can't carry on doing it. And then you're depressed. My husband doesn't love me. Why? Because you've got a condition. Condition is, if he loves me, he must kiss me. And if he doesn't kiss you, you're depressed. You're drinking alcohol. Why? Because you can't bear the pain. So this is how we create our problems. So far, up to this point in this chapter, Gurudev has explained what is my relationship with the world outside and how I create my experiences. Now, we are trying to look at what is mind. When we say mind, what is mind? Does anybody know? It's not a trick question. It's just a question. If anybody knows, you can raise your hand. You know what is mind? And it's not a test of your knowledge. Just because we use this word so frequently and so loosely all the time. And we don't even understand, is brain my mind or mind my brain? So we interchangeably do these, use these two words. So we are confused. Is brain the mind or the mind is brain? Somebody has the answer.
Sir, that's my question. Is brain and mind the same thing or it's the different? Both the things are different.
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
So brain तो उस organ का नाम है जो हमारे अंदर है. तो उसके अंदर we have these different parts of buddhi, mind and intellect, two different, and they have different functions.
Yeah.
जैसे mind का जब आपने
Yeah. So mind and the brain are cousin brothers, right? Or sisters, whatever you like. So mind is interested in getting its photos done. It likes to be captured in photos. So it's taken a physical form because you can't click a photo if it is not a physical form. When it took the physical form, it lives in your skull. So it is in your skull. The organ which is in your skull is called a brain. And brain is a nervous center. And it's almost like a central control room from where entire body, physical body operates from. So your physical body operates from your brain. So that is your organ. But mind is not brain. And because mind does not like its photos to be taken, so it has not manifested itself in the physical form. So it does not have a form. So we can't see mind. But we know something called mind. And we have been using mind since our childhood. Isn't it? And the moment we open our eyes every day, we start using it. आज मन नहीं कर रहा ऑफिस जाने का, आज खाना बनाने का मन नहीं कर रहा. So we use it all the time. हाँ, Sanjana, please say. You have to unmute yourself.
गुड इवनिंग सर. सर माइंड है कि जो हमें कमांड करता है पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव थॉट्स के लिए, कि अगर हम पॉजिटिव सोचेंगे तो पॉजिटिव होगा, और अगर नेगेटिव, बेसिकली माइंड कमांड्स अस टू डू थिंग्स.
हाँ, you're absolutely correct. But you are telling me what mind does. The question is what mind is. Slight difference. You're right saying what you just said. What mind does.
वो हमें कमांड करता है.
हाँ, तो जो mind है, the first question is what is mind? We all know what mind does.
Reflection of our thoughts. Is it
Thought.
the reflection of our thoughts?
You're very close.
मतलब I think mind हमारी body को command देता है जो हम सोचते हैं. तो
एंड इट इज अप टू अस कि वी उसको पॉजिटिव वे में कमांड देते हैं कि नेगेटिव, मतलब कि माइंड.
Let me take all of you out of misery. Mind is flow of thoughts. Where there is a thought, mind exists. And when there is no thought, there is no mind. So it's a flow of thought, where there is a flow of thought, not just the thought, flow of thought. Try to understand. For example, when you are sleeping, there is no mind. Because there is no mind, there is no thought. So you cannot remember what happened in your deep sleep. The reason you cannot remember, why? Because there was no mind. तो अगर आप तीन अवस्थाओं के विषय में थोड़ा सा सोचें, ये वो three is, stages of consciousness. Waking state, जागृत अवस्था. Dream state, which is स्वप्न अवस्था, और deep sleep, which is सुषुप्त अवस्था. तीन अवस्थाएं होती है consciousness की. The moment you open your eyes, you become conscious of the world around you. So in your conscious state of being, the three equipments that we have, Sharir, Man, Buddhi, all three are available to you, and you're using and operating all three of them. So whenever using and have the access to your Sharir, Man, Buddhi, you are in waking state. From waking state, when you shift into dream state, you still have access to your mind and intellect, but your body is not available to you. Okay, I'll explain it to you. What does it mean? So let's say in the dream, you had a fight with your neighbor, and she smashed your head with a brick, and you are bleeding in your dream profusely, and you have a lot of pain, and you're trying to rush to the hospital, and all that stuff is going on. So that is your dream. And you are so frightened in your dream that you wake up. When you wake up, then you see there is no blood. There's no injury to your head. So if body was available in the dream, and when the body was received a blow, it would have been hurt. So you may have thought in your dreams that your body was there, but in fact your body wasn't there. But if your body was there, you would have been hurt. So that's what I mean when I say body is not available to you in your dream, because it is not. It may be available to you in your mind, but mind is available, which means there's a continuous flow of thoughts. When you are trying to sleep, all these thoughts are coming, rising up in your head from three layers of your consciousness, which is called subconscious and unconscious mind. All these thoughts will pop up, and you will see a jumble of activities happening in your mind, which you can't put head and tail to it. Why it is happening to you? Oh, I can't remember. Why did I see this? Right? So that is what is happening to you in your dream. So in conscious avastha, all three are available. In your dream avastha, body is not with you, but man and buddhi is there. But when you fall into deep sleep, even mind and buddhi is not available. So you cannot ever, when you go into deep sleep, you will not have any recollection of what happened there. Why? Because instrument of thinking is not there. So when there is no mind, you will be in deep sleep. And there is thoughtlessness. So thoughtlessness is equal to sleep. Or there is no agitation in the mind. So do you understand? So now we will try to understand what mind is, so that we can understand. Because we use these two words as mind and intellect. Man or buddhi. When we use these two words, we can confuse ourselves and we believe that these two things are two different entities. In fact, it is not. They're just a single entity. Man or buddhi ek hi cheez hai. It's a faculty. It's not entity. Because when you say entity, it's kind of a gross. But it is not gross. It is subtle, But the man and buddhi, in fact, indicates to the two separate faculties of the same entity. Same mental faculty has two functions. So first function is called doubting faculty. So when you see something, the mind will say, oh, what is it? How is it? I don't know. Why? Because I've never experienced it before. So man will always raise this question. Is it okay or is it not? Is it safe or not? Is it good or bad? So mind is raising this question. So that faculty of mind which doubts, it's called mind. संस्कृत में उसको बोलते हैं संशय आत्मिका. संशय आत्मिका, doubting self. So it is part of my own self, and that faculty which doubts at every perception is called mind. The other faculty, which is a determining faculty within myself, is called intellect. So this intellect, in Hindi or Sanskrit we call it buddhi. It makes the decision. It decides whatever you are experiencing or perceiving through your sense organs. When this information goes to intellect via your mind, it decides. It will decide, oh, it is okay, go ahead. Oh, it is not okay, stop. So it will give you this, decisions. And because it helps you to decide, it is called intellect or buddhi. और संस्कृत में इसको बोलते हैं निश्चय आत्मिका, निश्चय, helping you to decide. And why your buddhi is helping you decide? Why? Because buddhi, this faculty of mind, is a reservoir of all of your past experiences. All. When we say all, it is talking about for all the lives that you have lived. All the experiences that you have had. It has brilliant reservoir of all the past experiences. So based on your past experiences, it has the capability to decide whether something is good or not. And accordingly, it will tell you. So when your intellect and your mind are working as a team, you often make decent decisions, helpful decisions, decisions that will bring joy and pleasure to you. But when your mind is out of control and does not follow the advice of the intellect, you fall in shit in life. I know I should not consume sugar. Why? Because I'm a diabetic. But my senses are so overpowering upon me. And my mind is, oh, come on, ek se kuch nahi hota. Listen to those conversations that we have. When you want to do something, you know you should not do it. You know very well, your intellect is telling you, no, 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 don't do it. You should not have it. You had the share of your sweet of the day. You should not be, Mind is, Buddhi is telling me all the time. But my mind is not working under the influence or control of my buddhi. So mind goes ahead and orders my hand to pick up the rasgulla and it goes in my mouth. So that's where the majority of the problems are. Majority of the problems that I experience in life is because there is no coordination between the two faculties. And whenever mind is running wild and does not follow or obey the instructions or guidance or suggestions from the buddhi, you will end up, landing up in mess. इतना समझ में आ गया? So let me share with you. So the question is, in order to discipline the mind, we must first understand what mind is. So let's go through the definition of mind or description of mind. So if the mind is happy, so this is basically the nature of mind. When the mind is happy, we are happy. If the mind is unhappy, we are unhappy. Our entire life is dependent on the mind, but very few of us know it. The fact is not this, that fact is not taught in school and colleges. When we ask the question, what is mind? An intelligent person will probably answer, mind is thought. Yes. Whenever there are thoughts, we can say that the mind exists. Whenever there are no thoughts, we can say there is no mind. In deep sleep, no thoughts exist and therefore there is no mind. Okay, we just talked about it. Thus, thought and the mind are the very much interrelated. If the thoughts are calm, the mind is calm. If the thoughts are agitated, then the mind is agitated. If thoughts are hopeful, the mind is hopeful. The mind is exactly as the thoughts in it. So now, however, thought alone is not the mind. Okay? This is important. So we're talking about two things, thought and the mind. And they are so interrelated texture of your thoughts will determine the texture of your mind. If your thoughts are negative, your mind is negative. Your thoughts are unhappy, your mind is unhappy. So that is the kind of relationship. So that much I hope is clear to you, and hold on to it. So we do not want you to, I don't want you to interchangeably use them from now on. Thought and mind are two separate things, but their relationship is such that the quality of one will determine the quality of the other. Okay? So, however, thought alone is not the mind. The sages of India concluded that thought and the mind have a relationship like that of water and a river. Okay? So, if you look at water and river, you will say, what is the difference between water and river? River is water. Though it is true that river is water, but you will also understand that every water is not river. So what is the difference? So water by itself is not river. A pool of water is not a river. However, when the water flows in a continuous stream, a river is born. Okay. So if you take water in a glass, or you see water in a lake or a pond, that is not river. Why? For water to become river, it must continuously flow. So continuous flow of water is river. I hope you understand the difference. It is very, very important. Water is not river. A pond is not river, or a lake is not river. When this water, it starts to flow continuously, it is called river. A flowing water is called river. You understand the difference? Flowing water is called river. Thus, river is water flowing. In the same way, thoughts by itself is not mind. But when thoughts flow, minds exist. यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा सा ना समझने की जरूरत है. Let me help you understand what does it mean when we say, oh, don't put your mind to it. And then you say, how do I do it? So thought by itself is not mind. When thought starts to flow, that is called mind. So you may be looking at something, but you're not thinking about it. So it means that you're not putting your mind to it. आपको difference समझ में आ रहा है? Okay. Let me give you a daily life example so that you can understand it. When you're driving in a car, every day you go to work from A to B. So when you're driving your car from A to B, there are millions of things that you see on the road. But if I ask you to remember or recall, or count, and tell me how many things have you seen or noticed on the road when you are driving? You may count 10 things, 15 things, 20 things, right? And if I keep asking the same question, okay, give me 5 more. Oh, I can't think of. Oh, I think that's enough. Just because you can't think more than 20, 30, or 40 things, does it mean there were only 30, 40 things on the road? No. There were millions of things out there. Even I saw them, my eyes would have seen it. But I cannot remember it. Why? Because my thoughts did not flow in that direction. You see 4 or 5 hoardings, one after another, like that. You see hoardings. And you remember this particular hoarding because there were beautiful jewelry items on it. So your mind went there. When you look at the hoarding and it's a beautiful diamond jewelry necklace picture there, your mind went there. And because your mind was flowing, your thoughts are flowing onto that jewelry, images on the hoarding board, you can remember. But the hoarding before and hoarding after, that your eyes also see those hoardings, but you cannot remember them. Why? Because your mind did not flow there. थोड़ा सोचो इसके बारे में. Give yourself a minute while I drink.
So I just want to, that means what I'm understanding is that it is mind, और mind के नीचे दो functions हैं उसके, एक हो गए बुद्धि और एक हो गया मनस, जिस इज इमोशंस एंड फीलिंग्स. बट मनस का भी कोई इंग्लिश वर्ड है जैसे इंटेलेक्ट है, तो माइंड इज
मनस. Mind is manas and buddhi is intellect. So intellect is
जो आप ऐसे से कर रहे हैं तो वो दो अलग चीजें हो जाती हैं, बट मैं सोच रही हूँ माइंड इज वन. माइंड के अंदर दो चीजें ओरिजिनेट होती हैं.
इसमें अंदर अंदर कुछ नहीं है. Just consider mind as a word and buddhi as a second word. But in fact, these are the same entity. अब जैसे आप ये समझ लो भाई, एक टॉर्च है,
बट दोनों के फंक्शंस अलग हैं.
Because of the two different functions this entity has, one function is called mind, other function is called intellect. These are two faculties.
Okay.
Yeah, they are two faculties of the same entity, and collectively you can also call it mind.
वो हाँ, तो उस एंटिटी को भी माइंड ही बोलते हैं.
हाँ, वो भी बोलते हैं. क्या बोल लो, उससे फर्क क्या पड़ता है? कोई टेक्निकल एग्जाम तो देना नहीं हमें.
मुझे लगा शायद कुछ थोड़ा संस्कृत हिंदी में कुछ समझाने के लिए कुछ वर्ड दी. ओके.
माइंड को हिंदी और संस्कृत में बोलते हैं मनस या मन. इंटेलेक्ट को बोलते हैं बुद्धि. जो मन का फंक्शन है उसको बोलते हैं डाउटिंग सेल्फ, विच मीन्स संशयात्मिका. इंटेलेक्ट को बोलते हैं डिसाइसिव फैकल्टी, संस्कृत में बोलते हैं निश्चयात्मिका. These are the two functions of the mind. और आगे चल के मैं आपको पूरा स्ट्रक्चर बताने की कोशिश करूंगा कि how in one end you have your sense organs, your mind which is the doubting faculty, then your intellect which is the decisive faculty or nischyatmika, and then your real nature which is Om, in this order. Sense organs, mind, intellect, and your real nature Om, Satchit Anand, that real nature. So your intellect is very close to your real nature. Because your intellect is constantly busy with your mind, and because it is so conditioned to focus all the time towards the outward, outside, in the world, though it is very close to your real nature, but you have never looked at it. Why? Because this mind is constantly busy and disturbed, agitated all the time. Plus, there are two diseases. One, it is agitated all the time. Two, constantly running outside through your senses. So it never finds time to look inside or look towards the real self. Does it make sense to you? Your real self, your intellect, your mind, and the sense organ, and the world outside is the world. So if you see that kind of a arrangement, internal system, so your senses are capturing that information of the world outside. So your eyes doesn't know what it is looking at. Eyes will bring shape and size and the color to you. Your eyes doesn't know what it is looking at. All it is capturing the size, shape, and the color. So that information comes into you, your minds look at it as a bloody hell, what the hell is this? If he already had the previous experience of looking at something, it can decide by itself, so it doesn't go to the intellect. But if it comes across something which has no experience, previous experience, then it gets confused. Oh, damn, what is it? Then this information is referred to the intellect. Intellect will go through the records and say, oh, you know what? Don't worry, it is safe. Is okay. So can you see, this is how we decide in our mind.
Yeah, or the intellect will say, let me refer to a book or let me ask somebody.
Previous experience or what have you. So they will check it. You know. If you have never experienced anything previously, your mind cannot decide what it is. And you can't understand it. So, for example, if you have not heard Mandarin or Chinese ever in your life, if I talk to you in that language, you will look at my face and wonder what the hell is uttering. Why? Because you have no clue what he's talking about. Because you don't have any previous record. You have never known this language, hence you can't make sense out of it. But if I talk to you English, the reason you are understanding English because you have a previous record of all the learning is there. So when I speak to you in English, you immediately understand it. Or if I speak to you in Gujarati or Punjabi or whichever language you understand, you will have no problem whatsoever in understanding it. That's how we understand. But when I look at something which I've never experienced, I wonder, what is it? How is it? Is it safe or is it not? Let me test it out. Let me check it out. So if you can't work out, you will start to investigate into it and try to work out. So your mind or your intellect will say, well, listen, mate, I don't have a previous data, so I cannot verify. Let's investigate, let's explore, let's find out, let's ask. So that's where you start, ringing around people. Or do you know what the hell is this? Is it okay? You never had let's say, what you call it, that surgery, heart surgery, whatever. So doctor said, oh, we have to operate upon your heart. You're all frightened. Why? Because you don't know what that means. Why? You have never experienced it before. And you don't know what somebody goes through when there is a operation upon your heart. So what would you do? You pick up the phone and talk to people and try to find out what happens, isn't it? So that is how it operates all the time. If you know something, then you are okay. If you don't know something, you wonder and you explore and you find out. So you need to understand. And the whole idea of understanding this dynamics is very, very important so that you can evaluate and critically analyze your own experiences. Lot of the times we develop these bad habits because of it, because of the safety. If I have been hurt by something, depending on the pain I have suffered, I will generalize it. One man has given me a lot of pain, and I've decided what all men are. F. You know what I mean? All men are FB. Really? One man has done something to you, and you have concluded that all men are bastard. So now you are creating a vasana. This is your vasana. Vasana is all men are bloody, pain in the backside. So your subsequent contact with all men will be operating from this position, that this belief that you have created in your mind, and your contact and conduct with the man will be determined by your vasana. Right? Why? Because I've taken a global opinion, global view, and I totally forgot that all men are different. Just because one man was good doesn't mean all men are good. Just because one man is bad doesn't mean all men are bad. And this is this very common mistake that all of us do. And even in human psychology, we call it error in logic. Oh, I went to this shop. They cheated me. So they cheat. I said, no, they don't cheat. That particular man who sold you that good was a cheater, not the entire shop. Can you see? Last time I was walking on this road, I fell. So does it mean every time you walk on this road, you will fall? No, but this is how my mind operates, and I'm not even aware of it, that I'm creating these vasanas in me. Okay? Okay? Let us move. So I thought it is important for us to understand when thoughts flow, mind exists. Every thought in my mind is not mind. So when I'm looking at something, but I'm not thinking about it, it means that I'm not putting my mind to it. So when water of the river is muddy, the river is called muddy. When the water is clean, the river is clean. When the water is fast, the river is fast. As the water, so is the river. Okay? So we need to understand this relationship. Similarly, with the mind, as the thoughts, so the mind. If the thoughts are good, mind is good. If the thoughts are bad, the mind is called bad. A person may have a beautiful body, a big car, £1,000,000 in his bank, but if his mind is unhappy, he is unhappy. If the mind is good, the whole world is attracted to the owner of the mind. Do you get it? We can understand mind. So I think now it is explaining the same thing that we were discussing. That we can understand mind further by understanding its relationship to the intellect. We can think of the mental function as the expression of thoughts in two different ways. Thoughts as emotions. When thoughts are manifesting themselves as emotion, it is called mind. So that is another dimension. I gave you two functions, two faculties from decision-making point of view, which is Sanshayatmika and Nishyatmika. Now it is telling you the texture. When the thoughts are expressed as emotion, it is called mind, manas. And when thoughts are expressing itself as an idea or thoughts, it is called buddhi. We can understand the difference between these two aspects of mental functions by again using the analogy of the river. So this is very beautiful. I like it, this analogy. A flow of thoughts like the flow of water in a river, that is mind. So mind is flow of thoughts as water is flowing in the river. So water flowing is called a river. In the same way, flow of thought is called a mind. Now every river has two banks. Would you agree with me? A river has two banks. So it says here, the intellect is that which directs the thoughts, just like the banks of a river direct the water in it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful analogy.
It's excellent. I love it.
Yeah.
So that is the relationship between the intellect and the mind. So intellect will direct the flow of thoughts. So intellect is full of all these positive values, principles, high morals, and all that stuff, and it will guide the thoughts to flow in it.
So which
we
means
must
that intellect is, sorry. So
There you go.
intellect has the power to influence the mind.
Yeah, but it always remains in an advisory capacity. It is not authoritative. So intellect, though it knows all that is good for you, but it can only advise the mind what to do. So if you have trained your mind to work under the influence of your intellect, then you will end up making all the good and positive decisions. But if you leave your mind wild as a indisciplined child, then it would not listen to you. And then you'll end up in trouble all the time. So all the trouble that we are experiencing is not because I never knew what is good and bad in my interest. I always know. But I follow the temptations that is created by my sense organs. That's what it is. So my sense organs are creating temptations and it is goading me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's have it. कुछ नहीं होता है. एक रसगुल्ले से क्या हो जाएगा? कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. कहते नहीं हम लोग, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. चलो ना, what ये ना, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. चलो मजे लेते हैं. तो मजे ले लो फिर. So when everybody was studying to prepare for the exam, you are fascinated and you're watching television or going for movies or out with the friends and enjoying Friday night. While your mind is saying you should not do it, you should pay attention to your study and prepare for exam. That is always the case. People, young people who are succeeding are not extra intelligent. For whatever reason, they have brought their mind to work under the sway of their intelligence or intellect, and they can decipher what is good and bad for them. So they know at this point in time, I must pay attention to my studies, my revision, my preparation. And when they do it, they get the fruit of their action accordingly. And those whose minds are not trained and not working under the influence of the intellect, they cannot decide and what is good for them. Very simple. People per se are neither intelligent nor dull. It is how these things to work. Now it is saying there are some approaches. We have talked about it tens of times before. How do you train your mind? So I think I'm going to stop here today. What you are reading on the screen, it says negating the thoughts. Let me show you once again, then we will check it out. So some approaches to training the mind are negating negative thoughts. That is number one. Remember, I gave you in previous classes, I gave you a 5-step process of meditation. So they are just simply giving you the 3 main ones. So before negating, it says introspection, detection, negation, substitution, and flooding. So that is the whole idea of meditation. There may be a million more other ideas as to why you should be meditating. You can do it. Nobody is stopping you. If you like blowing air from your nose every day, you can do it. There's no harm. But if you want to do yoga from your personal development aspect, and if your ultimate idea is self-realization, then this is the practice of yoga or practice of meditation. So when you are sitting and meditating, or when you are meditating with your eyes open, that is exactly what you do. Because you know these negative thoughts are going to cause you pain. And what are these negative thoughts? These are not just any negative thoughts or negative thoughts about your neighbor. No, that is not what we are talking about. These are the negative thoughts that you have created in yourself about your own self. Understand the difference. I'm not saying that you have a negative thought about your school or your college. Even you should not have negative thoughts about your school. That is a different issue. But when we are talking about meditation, you are meditating upon your own self. So when you're talking about your own, meditating upon your own self, you need to identify in your thoughts which one are the negative thoughts that I carry about myself. And what are these negative thoughts? Negative thoughts, anything to do with yourself, you say, oh, sorry, I can't do it. Oh, I'm not capable. Oh, I'm weak. Oh, I'm not intelligent. All these negativities that you hold about your own self, they are called negative thoughts. And these are the negative thoughts which our rishis are asking you or advising you to reject immediately. So when you sit down in meditation and when you thought comes to your mind, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, every negative thought pertaining to your own self and your own understanding of your own self, that thought, let's say, for example, you're saying, oh, I don't know whether I would be able to do it. It's a negative thought. So what you are supposed to do, or what you're required to do, if you're working towards self-realization, you need to master the art of negating that thought completely. And say, no, that is not true. It is okay up to this date today in my life. I have always believed for last 40, 50 years that I'm not good. Now I know it is a negative thought and I must reject it. So negate it. So that is the first step, first approach. The reason I've added two more before that, introspection and detection, because we have not been engaging ourselves in these two activities as well. So when you begin to meditate upon yourself, you must learn to focus your mind so that you can introspect your own thoughts. And when you're introspecting your own thoughts, which is exactly like a quality control engineer sitting on the side of the running belt, and he is looking very keenly on each and every product which is passing through his eyes. Whenever he sees that the product is damaged or packaging is damaged, he will pick up that product and put it on the side. And he will let all the good and neutral products will carry on. In the same way, when we say you must introspect, you must practice to sit down, bring your mind to focus on your thoughts and let your thoughts flow. And when your thoughts are flowing in front of you, you keep a keen eye on them. Whenever there is a negative thought pertaining to your own self, you must detect it. And as soon as you detect that negative thought, you must reject it immediately. Don't think and plan, oh, okay, I'm going to reject my thought in the morning. No, reject it now. The moment you reject a negative thought which said, I can't do it, substitute it with a positive thought. And it says, I can do it. So replacement of I cannot do with I can do. That is called substitution. Immediately substitute. And the moment you substitute a positive thought, you have to start flooding your mind with this positive replacement. And if you keep doing a job, that is the reason why there is a recommendation that we should job. We should, do a job. So if you keep saying to yourself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, all the time, if you keep uttering this thought in your mind, this is called flooding. You flood your mind with the positive replacement. And if you keep saying that to yourself, that I can, I can, and whenever you are wondering, wake up in the morning, and if you keep that thought in the front of your, frontal lobe, and you keep uttering these things in your mind, that I can, I can, I can. You keep playing this tape recorder in your mind, that I'm capable, I can do it, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, or whatever that thought may be. If you keep entertaining these positive thoughts in your mind all the time, so your mind will eventually will start to believe that you are intelligent, you are capable. So if your thought says you are capable, so will you be. You'll end up doing it. You will end up doing what you believed was difficult and impossible for you. And you should experiment. Unless you experiment it, you will not know what I'm talking about. It's all theory. And while you experiment something new, you should always, or should also recall hundred of things that you have achieved like that. All the positive achievements that you have had in life, all those things where you failed in life, they were determined by your thoughts. The idea is to learn and believe in this information that I've shared with you from your own experiences. I'm not telling you anything new. This is how you have lived your life already. You have done it. All the achievements till date is caused by your positive thoughts. All that you have achieved because you said to yourself that I will achieve it. That's what it is. So mind, so far as I'm concerned, is the most powerful dimension of our personality. And if we can master it with the help of meditation, you can alter the entire experience of your life. Your life will be defined by you. It is so powerful. लेकिन वो वाला अनुभव तभी होगा जब आप उसको प्रैक्टिस करो every moment of your life. Then you will find when people are shouting and trying to be nasty and trying to be negative, you will become so conditioned. You would look at them as if you're watching a silent movie. Why? Because silent movie doesn't affect you. When you watch a silent movie, it doesn't affect you. People will be saying you are effing this, blending this, blah, 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 blah. You don't disturb your mind. Why? Because you're not letting your mind go there. How do you achieve it? Because you have controlled your mind. You have trained your mind. Though words are falling on your ears, it's not that words are not falling on your ears. Word will fall on your ears, but they become redundant. They lose their potency to hurt you. Can you see? You are hearing words. People are saying you are effing and blinding. But you don't get bothered just because somebody is shouting at you. All you say, either in your mind or outwardly, you say, God bless you. Why? Because they really need to be blessed. The system is corrupt. And they're howling abuse is out of their mouth, so there must be something so painful that they're going through. So they need to be blessed. The point I'm making is this: the entire life experiences can be altered by training your mind. And if you trained your mind, you can decide how do you want to receive life. So neither that negative things will become redundant, but all things will become redundant. So small gains are not going to make you excited. छोटा सा लाभ हो गया, छोटी सी तारीफ हो गई तो एक्साइटेड हो गए, किसी ने तारीफ कर दी तो ऐसे खुश हो गए कि उसमें ही बह गए. So you are neither getting excited by the praises or nor getting depressed by the whatever people are saying to you, negative things. So positive things does not excite you, and negative things would stop exciting you. So you will become sthit pragya, sakshi. Why? Because now you are seeing things as they are. Your mind is not interpreting things differently to what they are. So you would begin to see the world as it is. Your vision will become clear. You don't get excited for every little things happening in your life. So all this agitation that was being caused by your mind, you will find the calmness. Your mind will be comparatively much calmer than before. And if your mind is calm, you will experience peaceful mind. A peaceful mind is a mind which does not have agitation in it. And when there is no agitation in it, you will be happy. And that is what happiness is all about. So घूम फिर के बात वहीं आ जाती है, to be happy. Why? Because that is the ultimate objective of spiritual study. Spiritual study is how to be happy permanently, for which you don't have to do anything. You don't have to become anything. You don't have to have anything. It's your own real nature. So as you bring calmness to your mind, you will begin to see your own real nature in the form of peace and happiness. Just minute रह गए क्लास खत्म करने की. So let me open the session for questions. कोई मन में सवाल किसी के नहीं है? हिमांशी प्लीज.
सर किसी के साथ इंटरैक्ट करते टाइम अगर मुझे ये पता है कि वो सामने वाला झूठ बोल रहा है, टेलिंग अ लाई एंड कुकिंग अप स्टोरीज, और मुझे मतलब ट्राई टू मेक अ फूल आउट ऑफ मी, मुझे अंदर से बहुत एजिटेशन होता है. इंटेलेक्ट टेल्स मी कि ये झूठ तो वो बोल रहा है, तुम्हें क्या फर्क पड़ता है उससे. इंटेलेक्ट टेल्स मी दैट, बट आई कैन नॉट कंट्रोल दैट एजिटेशन कि वो क्या मुझे क्या बेवकूफ समझ रहा है, वो मुझे झूठ बोल रहा है.
तो ये जो आपने स्टेटमेंट बोली, क्या मेरे को बेवकूफ समझ रहा है, क्या मैं पागल हूँ, क्या इतना बुद्धू समझता है मेरे को, तो ये जो इंटरप्रिटेशंस है ना, दीज आर नेगेटिव इंटरप्रिटेशन. So these negative interpretations are causing anger in you, not what that person is saying or doing to you. Okay? क्या मैं पागल हूँ? That is causing anger in you. Why? You have already decided कि he thinks I am pagal, so I must be pagal. So being classed or defined as pagal or buddhu or bevkoof is what is causing anger in you. When you know you are not. What difference does it make? Yes, this person is saying, I know he's lying. He's lying. He may have a reason to lie. So I need to be focusing my attention on what are these reasons to lie to me. It means that he cannot express, he cannot open his heart to me. There's something between him and me that stops him being the truthful, being honest to me. He sees, he knows that if I say the real stuff, my mother would hit the roof. I'm just saying, in relation to having this conversation with your son or your husband. So this person, whosoever that person is, he has assumed in his mind that if he opens his heart and be honest to you, you may hit the roof. Hence, lie. So, so there are a lot of analysis that we can do for every little situation. And I often say that to parents. I don't have a copy of my own book. I have written a chapter on parenting in my first book. And that's where I'm saying, rather than negatively interpreting yourself based on the behavior and the conduct or the words of other people, we should be thinking why this person, what is stopping this person to be honest with me? Simple reason is he knows or he has perceived or he has experienced the consequences of being honest. But for you to think that I am bevkoof or I can be manipulated, which means I'm not intelligent enough. And he thinks that he can manipulate me, he can fool me, he can make me bevkoof. These thoughts are causing anger in you. Okay. And it is not this person who asks you to think like that. So that's the reason of being meditative all the time, so that nothing triggers anything negative in you. So this negative trigger or negative flow of thought is triggered by observing or seeing or hearing this person saying whatever he says. So my automatic system is I've got these negative thoughts are triggered. Why? Because somewhere in my mind I believe that I am susceptible to be fooled is equal to I'm not intelligent enough. So somewhere in my subconscious mind, these thoughts are hanging on. Isn't it? Think about it. So these thoughts has become like a vasana. It's called vasana. We'll come to it. Vasana is the texture of your thought which you automatically have. And all your thoughts are springing out of it. So that's why, because these things are subtle and these things happen, and I don't know how these things are happening, that's where meditation is required. So unless we trained ourselves to be meditator and learn to pay attention to my thoughts, I will continue to experiencing these things. So these thoughts, which is a very good question you asked, so it's a very good thought. Sorry, very good question. So this is an example exactly what I'm talking about. The moment this thought comes to your mind, you say, no, I am not. I cannot be. Why? Because I'm intelligent. And if you keep saying that to you, you will find the similar situations later on will not have the same effect on you. You would not be angry. Why would you be angry when you know you're intelligent? This child is lying to me, or this person is lying to me. That's it. That's where you will stop. You will not interpret Oh, he's lying because he thinks I'm. तो ये जो second tag sentence होता है ना, tag, he is lying because he thinks I am. So whenever you have attachment, so this is called attachment. I am. It has nothing to do with you. This person is lying because he's got a habit of it. This person is lying because he's frightened. This person is lying because he does not want to be exposed. This person is lying because he knows how you will react. So that is the reason for his lying, not you being dumb or thick. Can you see the difference? And this is what I need to be so meditative and intelligent to detect these kind of thoughts in my mind all the time and start rejecting them. And that is called meditation. So far as I am concerned, that is what meditation is all about. And when you start removing all these negative, how should I say, negative perceptions that you have created about yourself since your childhood, there are a lot of these negative thoughts. I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not intelligent, I'm capable, I can't do this, I'm weak, I'm not. So all these thoughts or perceptions that you have created about yourself based on your past experiences, and you have sustained and maintained them to the extent that you believe that this is true. That is called your deluded personality. You have created that personality and you believe this is what you are. So this is called delusion, deluded self, which is far removed from your real self. What is your real self? You're perfect, complete, and there is nothing wrong in you. That is your real nature. Real nature, you're perfect, complete, happy. That is your real nature. But what we have done, we have created a personality, a perception about myself, and I believe myself to be like that. So that is the difference between the two personalities. The personality that I've created about myself and the belief that I believe in about myself that I am all this rubbish. All my problems in my life are caused by this deluded self. All the problems that I experience in life, every day of my life, they are emerging out of this deluded sense of self. That's how we have created. पापा जी ने कुछ बोल दिया होगा बचपन में, डांट दिया, कुछ कर दिया, तो मन में बात बिठा ली. कहते हैं मन में बात बिठा ली. My father doesn't love me. फिर पापा ने अगले दिन फिर डांट दिया. My father definitely doesn't love me. अब उस बात को प्रूव करने में लग गए और फिर अपने आप को करते 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 कन्विंस कर लिया. जब कन्विंस हो गए तो मन में ख्याल आया, देयर मस्ट बी समथिंग रॉन्ग विद मी. दैट्स द रीजन माय फादर डजंट लव मी. आई एम नॉट गुड लुकिंग, आई एम नॉट इंटेलिजेंट, I may not be this, I may not be that. Because you're trying to equate, trying to find cause why your father doesn't love you. And you get convinced that when you get low marks, your father shouts at you. Oh, because I'm not intelligent, that's why. 2 + 2 = 5 करके बैठे हुए. And then you go and shout at your father when you grow up. Why did you hate me? Your father says, when did I hate you? I don't know. When did I hate you? He has no clue, poor fellow. And you're shouting at him. You ruined my life. Say, really? What did I do? If poor fellow never did anything, all he did was he wanted you not to behave like that. on that particular occasion, one time, और आपने कुंठा बना ली. So all of us have these kunthas. ये जो परसेप्शन, नेगेटिव परसेप्शन हमारा अपने बारे में होता है, इसको बोलते हैं कुंठा, and not a cognitive psychological knot, a negative belief that I have about myself, that nobody loves me. It's a knot. And when you are able to untie these knots, so this kuntha becomes Vaikuntha. You know what is Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha Dham. Vaikuntha Dham is a place where Lord Vishnu resides. So whole idea of spiritual study is to untie your knots that you have created. आई बात समझ में आपको? ठीक है.
हाँ सर, दैट मीन्स जब कोई मतलब अपने इंटेलेक्ट से काम करें और उसको समझें सिचुएशन को, और वर्क ऑन योरसेल्फ रादर देन वर्किंग ऑन कि मैं उसको ठीक करूं, मैं उसके सामने जस्टिफाई करूं. वी शुड सिट विद आवरसेल्व्स एंड
intellect looking at your mind, looking outside, and looking at the drama created by mind, looking, creating all these negative perceptions. So what can he do? All he can do is guide you. Don't do it. Don't think like that. No. My father definitely loves me. So what can intellect do? It's only an advisory capacity. It's not a dictator. So intellect is not dictator. No, you cannot think like that. There's a total freedom. So he will keep saying, no, I don't think you should think like that. But no, I know my father definitely doesn't like me. Okay, fine. Then you go ahead and you keep proving. Every time your father says something, every time your father gives something, your father will give two exactly same looking saris, one to you and one to your sister. But you will have this thought in your mind, the sari that is given to me is inferior to the one that is given to my sister. होता है ऐसा कि नहीं? Sari is exactly the same price, same shop. But because your mind is negative, you cannot experience positive out of this experience. You must find a fault in the sari to convince yourself that your father does not like you. You want to be right all the time. More right you become about these things, more unhappy you will be. Or when you try to prove yourself right, you give a wrong notion that you are intelligent. You may be intelligent, but you are miserable at the same time. You're crying, you're depressed. Why? Oh, my daughter doesn't love me. बैठे में रो रहे. Oh, my son doesn't listen to me. आपको मेरी बात समझ में आ रही है? So the whole idea of spiritual study for understanding the dynamics of life is so that we can understand these corruptions that I have caused or created for my own self and created a negative perception of my own real self. And that is the cause of all the suffering that I suffer in life. Yeah. Any other question, or I close the shop? भावना जी को सारी बातें समझ आज तो भावना जी ने दर्शन ही नहीं दिया. मेरे को लगता है खाना बनाने चली गई. कुकिंग. हाँ प्लीज बोलिए संजय जी. You have to unmute.
So basically अपने माइंड को हमने खुद अपने आप कंट्रोल करना सीखने की, उसको नेगेटिव थॉट जो आए उसको हमने इनवाइब नहीं करना, कि वी हैव टू से नो टू दैट थॉट, कि हमें पॉजिटिव सोचना है।
That's true. That's right.
कि लाइक अगर कोई कुछ गलत बोल भी रहा है तो अपने आप में वी हैव टू थिंक कि नो, दिस इज नॉट राइट एंड वी आर
Exactly. So idea ये है कि whatever you are suffering with, you are suffering the consequence of a negative thought in your mind. पहली बात तो अब ये समझिए, इसका थर्मामीटर होता है इमोशंस एंड फीलिंग्स. इफ यू आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग ए नेगेटिव इमोशन और ए बैड फीलिंग, ये थर्मामीटर है. A feeling is a
सर पर ऐसे भी तो हो
thermometer.
सकता है कि कोई कुछ बोल रहा हो वो सच हो और मैं उसको झुंझला रही हूँ.
हाँ, तो उसके लिए जरूरी है कि आप you pay attention to that person, whether this person is right, wrong or not. You will only know it. Point ये नहीं कि whether this person is right or wrong. Person is what interpretation you are drawing about yourself. That's what is the issue. वो बंदा सही बोल रहा है, गलत बोल रहा है.
इट शुड नॉट अफेक्ट अस, मतलब अगर चाहे
Out of a situation, you should not draw a wrong conclusion about yourself. Even if you have failed in doing something, it doesn't mean you are not capable. You miserably failed, let's say. You had a bad outcome of in something that you are doing. It doesn't mean you are not intelligent. It means that you did not pay proper attention while you are doing it. At this point only. So concluding that you are useless, good for nothing, is a wrong interpretation of the experience. Interpretation should be, I failed because I did not pay attention to these steps. I did not follow these steps thoroughly. Let me investigate what made me fail this time, so that next time I do not do the same thing again. So you learn and you move forward, rather than saying, I am useless, I am good for nothing, I am not intelligent, I am not capable. These are all wrong interpretations. That's what we should refrain from. I should not draw a wrong conclusion out of a situation. That's what it is.
और ऑनेस्टली बैठ के रिव्यू भी करना चाहिए.
हाँ, that is what meditation is all about. Why did I think I am not good enough? अरे भाई, I did try to do it. My intention was right. I wanted to really do it, but I failed somewhere in the steps to follow, and I did not see what was coming from the other direction, and I collided. It's an accident. Next time, I'll be more careful on the road. Just because you have an accident doesn't mean you are thick. क्योंकि लोग आपसे ये कह रहे हैं, तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब है, पागल हो, how can you do it like that? But that's how people talk to us, isn't it?
ईगो.
दिमाग खराब है, पागल है, अंधे हो, पागल है, दिखता नहीं है. भाई ठीक है, that person has got hurt, so he's shouting, he's barking, I would say. हाथ जोड़ के माफी मांग लो कि I'm sorry, I really did not see you coming. I'm really sorry if you're hurt. So I am, just because I'm saying I'm sorry, it doesn't mean I am wrong. I am saying sorry because you are hurt. So sorry is not an automatic admission of me being useless.
yes,
But this is what my mind tells me. No, I am being apologetic for you being hurt.
सब वो इसलिए कि सॉरी हम इसलिए भी कई बार बोलते हैं, नोइंग दैट अदर पर्सन इज रॉन्ग, कि वो सिचुएशन और वर्स ना होए. We just try.
I am sorry that what I said from my mouth, you misunderstood it because you have got a faulty system. So I'm sorry for holding a faulty system that you hold. You could be sorry about anything. लेकिन sorry कहते ही सारी चीजें diffuse हो जाती हैं. You're not misinterpreting anything. आपको misinterpret करने की जरूरत क्या है? तो जब तक हम attentive नहीं होंगे, until I have gained some control on my mind, that my mind automatically does not misinterpret situations and things in life, you will continue to suffer in life. And that is the idea. Idea is to train your mind. I must gain certain degree of control over my mind so that my mind is not running wild and creating unnecessary interpretation out of situations. तो मेरी
जैसे
बच्ची
हमारे
में से बात
पंजाबी
नहीं, हाँ बच्ची बात नहीं करी तो रो रहे हैं बैठे, क्यों जी पता नहीं, आई फेल्ड एज ए
सर
मदर टाइम।
जैसे हमारे पंजाबियों में कहावत है ना, एक चुप 100 सुख। अगर कोई सामने वाला कुछ गलत, उसको लग रहा है कि हम गलत है और इट विल
तो
अफेक्ट
यहाँ
अस,
ये,
बेटर टू कीप क्वाइट।
हाँ, कीप क्वाइट का मतलब आप समझिए, कीप क्वाइट का मतलब यहाँ से चुप नहीं रहना, सिर्फ
मन से
कीप
भी
क्वाइट हेयर, डोंट
शांत।
अटेंड, या डोंट अटेंड टू इट। वो कोई बड़ा गुस्सा कर रहा है, चीख रहा है, he must be in pain, he must be whatever hungry, he must be whatever his reasons, maybe he has his own reasons to be angry. Why should I involve myself with this person? If I can keep calm, I am in a better position to understand why this person is suffering. Let me help him. आप भी इन्वॉल्व हो जाओगे तो हाउ डे यू टॉक टू मी, झगड़ा हो रहा है एवी फालतू, कुछ निकला कुछ नहीं इसमें से, और फिर बैठे डिप्रेस होके बैठे हुए हैं, एवरीबडी कम्स एंड यू नो talks to me like this, everybody disrespects me, nobody has respect for me, even my husband doesn't do it, even my children don't। यार बच्चों ने कुछ किया नहीं, हस्बैंड ने कुछ किया नहीं, पड़ोसी ने आके कुछ कह दिया तो आपने पूरे खानदान को लपेट दिया, बैठे बैठे ही और डिप्रेस हो गए। शाम को हस्बैंड आया, बात ही नहीं कर रहे, मैं क्या हो गया भाई कुछ नहीं, क्या बनाया, कुछ नहीं क्यों?
मन को नहीं, मगर इंटेलेक्ट से काम लेना है।
हाँ, इवेंचुअली, बिकॉज your intellect knows exactly what is your reality, who you really are. When this mind becomes calm and comes under the sway, then this intellect can find time to turn towards your real nature. It is there, it is very close to it, but it is facing other way. Why? Because mind is holding it and dragging it outside with all its problems that mind is busy with. So if mind becomes calm, it does not have hundreds of questions for the intellect to be busy with, then both mind and intellect can afford to turn their attention on the other side and pay attention. When I say other side, then you look at yourself and investigate into your real nature. That's what it is. कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि आत्मदर्शन का मतलब ये ना कि कोई लाइट वाइट जल जाएगी, कोई मतलब बिजली कड़केगी, कुछ 25-30 हाथ वाला कोई बंदा दिखेगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला। वो जैसे दिखाते हैं ना फिल्मों में, भगवान के दर्शन हो गए तो मतलब ऐसे वाले। हाँ सॉरी, क्वेश्चन बोलो।
सो इंटेलेक्ट के पांचों फंक्शंस इंटेलेक्ट के नीचे आते हैं, ये इंट्रोस्पेक्शन से लेके फ्लडिंग तक। इंटेलेक्ट
इज योर बुद्धि। These 5 functions are, these are
डिटेक्ट और ये सब करने में। आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड।
these are the steps for meditation. इसको हेडिंग डालो।
हाँ, बुद्धि के अंदर बुद्धि हेल्प करेगी ना ये सब पांचों करने में।
हाँ मतलब बुद्धि करेगी, लेकिन these are steps for meditation. So when you're sitting meditation, that's exactly what you're doing. तो देखो मेडिटेशन का पहला स्टेप होता है प्रैक्टिस टू लर्न टू फोकस योर अटेंशन. If you are paying attention to something, then your mind is remaining there. That is the first practice. तो जब वो सारी प्रैक्टिस हो जाती है, उसके बाद when you actually start your real meditation, then these are the steps of your meditation: introspection, detection, negation, substitution, and flooding. 5 things that you do all the time. And when you become competent in rejecting your negative things, negative dimension of your personality, then you can do it with your eyes open all the time. Even when you're talking, having a conversation with somebody, you should be so mindful. Then you will watch, should I use this word? What would the impact of this word on the other person? Will it cause harm to this person? Will this person be angry? Will this person be annoyed? So sometimes you just either you stop, don't say what you were going to say, or say in a polite manner. So you still, so that's what the whole idea is. You become mindful. इसको बोलते हैं mindfulness. Your mind is constantly in control and is doing exactly what you are doing. So you pay attention to, you bring entire energy of your mind on the job at hand. Why? Because your mind is not agitated anymore. Your mind is not busy with unnecessary activities. It's not engaging with everything happening around you. So your mind is less agitated. And because mind is less agitated, whatever you do, you can afford to invest 100% mind into your job. And when you start working like that, you become efficient and effective. And you, most of the time, you start achieving quality. So when you start achieving quality, what is the message you gain? That I am intelligent, I am efficient, I am great, I am brilliant. So you start getting positive feedback, the experience that you're out of your experiences. Previously, you are drawing negative conclusion out of your experiences. With bringing your mind to focus, now you will start to draw positive experiences out of, positive messages out of your experiences. That is the idea. ठीक है ना? आपके दोनों सवाल हो गए? Any more?
सर एक बार कैन यू रिपीट वो 5 मेडिटेशन के 5 एस्पेक्ट्स क्या है? इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, डिटेक्शन, रिजेक्शन,
कौन
And-
बताएगा?
Substitution and flooding.
सब्स्टिट्यूशन एंड
Flooding.
पहला लिखो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, डिटेक्शन, negation, फिर substitution, and then flooding. Flood your mind with the positive thoughts.
पॉजिटिव.
ये सब वो ही कर सकता है जो इंटरनेट से काम करे.
ठीक है.
कितना
मन
टाइम
से-
लगता है सर? कितना
क्या?
टाइम लगेगा ये वो स्टेज पहुंचने में?
किसी भी चीज को टाइम लगने के लिए there should be a starting point. You have to start it first.
Your hand.
Everything to take time must start first. और टाइम की डेफिनेशन तो ये है कि हाउ sincerely, diligently, consistently, and with commitment you do it and practice it. और ये कोई इसका कोई एंड टाइम नहीं है कि आपने you have achieved it, you have to keep on doing it. भाई आप सोचो अभी आप you ever stopped using your mind? We use it unintelligently. All we are doing is learning how to use it intelligently. So even if you become focused and and you're able to do it, all you're doing is you are using your mind intelligently. तो ये जो आप मेरे से सवाल पूछा है कि when would I be able to do it? You will be able to do it if you start and practice it every day. अब आप पूछो जी प्रैक्टिस क्या करनी है? If you already are able to focus your mind, can you do it? You know how to do it? If you can do it, then you practice it every day. जो नॉर्मल कन्वेंशनल प्रैक्टिस होती है वही आपको करना है. जैसे आप कहीं जैसे मैं आपसे कह रहा था ना, I prefer the morning hours is the best time. It doesn't mean you can't do it any other time. You can do it. लेकिन होता क्या है कि ये जो ड्यूरिंग द डे का टाइम होता है इज फुल ऑफ डिस्ट्रैक्शंस. जो सुबह ब्रह्म मुहूर्त जिसको बोलते हैं 4 से 6 का टाइम, इसको बोलते हैं वो लीस्ट डिस्टर्बेंस उसमें होती है. सो इट फैसिलिटेट्स योर प्रैक्टिस. तो आइडिया ये होता है कि बैठ के ट्राई टू कीप योर माइंड फोकस्ड ऑन समथिंग. पहले ये वाली प्रैक्टिस करो. these are प्राइमरी प्रैक्टिसेस. तो उसमें लिए बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं या तो कोई दिया जला लो उसको देखते रहो, या ओम का कोई चिन्ह लगा लो, या कोई फोटो रख लो देवी देवता की. Or if you don't want to do any of those things, then what you do is you pay attention to your breath coming in and going out, and keep your mind on your breath. So when you are trying to do this, trying to bring your mind to focus, your mind will keep on wandering all over the place. Don't get disheartened by this experience. Why? Because right now mind is not trained. You're trying to train it. So you may bring your mind and focus on something, then it will wander away. If it wanders away, don't worry, just bring it back. Keep bringing it back, keep bringing it back, keep bringing it back. Over few days, maybe weeks, your mind will gain or become used to. जैसे बच्चे नहीं होते. If mind keeps wandering, let it wander and watch your mind wandering. Let it watch wandering. उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ना. So at least what you're doing is you're paying attention to your mind's wandering. Let it do. करते 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 it will, जैसे बच्चे नहीं होते, जैसे माँ, छोटा बच्चा है, माँ उसको मना कर रही है, मत करो मत करो मत करो, टाइप बच्चा इज नॉट लिस्टिंग. जैसे माँ नाराज होकर ऐसे बैठ जाती है ना, ओके यू कीप डूइंग इट, then the child realizes in 2 seconds or maybe 5 seconds there's something not right, my mind is not happy with me, so we'll come to you and plead, please, right? Exactly the same way mind functions. If your mind is wandering, let it wander, you watch it. You just watch, let your mind wander, and you pay your attention on your mind and see where your mind is going. So when you are following your mind, in fact, you are paying attention to your thoughts, isn't it? Your mind might go and think about hospital, or it might go and think about the party last weekend. It could be anything. You follow your mind and don't get disheartened. All you have to do is keep doing this, 20 minutes, half an hour practice every day. If you keep doing it every day, eventually you will find that you are able to bring your mind to focus. और जब आपका माइंड फोकस होना चालू हो जाएगा, इतने अद्भुत एक्सपीरियंस आपको होंगे दैट आई कैन नॉट एक्सप्लेन इन वर्ड्स. बहुत अच्छे. क्योंकि देखो होता क्या है, आपको मैंने शायद पहले भी एग्जांपल बताया था कि जो सनराइज होती है, दे आर नॉट हार्मफुल, दे डोंट बर्न यू, सनराइज. बट व्हेन यू पास इट थ्रू ए क्या बोलते हैं,
ग्लास,
हाँ, द लेंस, the magnifying glass. So when you pass the rays through a magnifying glass, they get focused on a point like that. And that point where all rays are concentrated, their power becomes multiplied. जितनी भी individual rays are, they have power in them, but they're not power enough to burn. But when they all focus, their power becomes multiplied and it burns the object upon which it is focused. देखा है ना, एक्सपेरिमेंट तो किया होगा ना, बचपन में खेलते थे. इसी तरह से जब आपका माइंड becomes focused, it has similar concentrated mental energy, and when you apply that focused mind on something, miracles will start to happen. Things that you believe you can't do it will happen effortlessly. ये सब होता है. ठीक है ना, प्रार्थना कर लेते हैं, नहीं तो आप एक क्वेश्चन तो रुकेंगे नहीं. I like people asking questions. Okay. That is muted now. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva He Nath Narayana Vasudeva हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Thank you very much. I like the session because you are active, you are involved, and you are asking questions. I like that. ठीक है?
थैंक यू सर।
See you on Friday.
तो ये टॉपिक ही ऐसा है।
है हाँ, थैंक यू। तो आप प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, बड़ा मजा आएगा, आई एम टेलिंग यू। तो वैसे रिलीजन टाइप से मत लीजिए, ये यू आर डूइंग एनीथिंग रिलीजियस, नथिंग रिलीजियस अबाउट इट। इट्स जस्ट यू नो, इट्स ऑल